All right, Moana 2 has been out in theaters for about a week now. I know I've been behind on doing my review for this. I work at the movie theater, so I've been very busy having worked this movie. It was the biggest animated opening of all time. It was the biggest Thanksgiving weekend for the history of movies. It was certainly the biggest day that I had ever worked personally at the theater. We felt those numbers. It was insane. But I was happy to have worked it. It's always great seeing people and families, coming out to the movies and actually having something to watch. It was definitely helped by Wicked being out and Gladiator 2. There was something for everybody. My history with Moana was only very recent for me. I watched the first film this year in preparation for Moana 2. This seems to be the case for a lot of movies the last couple of years because everything that's coming out is a sequel. I was very pleased and enjoyed Moana 1. I loved it. The songs were stuck in my head for days. And actually, throughout the whole weekend I was working Moana 2, I had the first movie's music stuck in my head. So it got me excited to see Moana 2. I don't think I really studied the trailers too much in preparation for this movie. I kind of wanted to go in, surprised. I was excited. And I think overall it was a little disappointing. I think I loved the first one so much that I maybe didn't give it enough time to breathe in between. But it's like, it's such a high bar to me personally. It's hard to kind of beat the first one. And maybe I had the expectations a little bit too high for this movie. But at the same time, I felt it was very much just a redo, and I felt like they were just kind of double upping on the jokes that worked, or the music I just did not care for. Maybe I do like Lin-Manuel Miranda's music because I certainly cannot remember a single song from the second movie. They just didn't catch for me personally. I just feel like it wasn't as organic as the first one. The second one felt a little too forced for me personally in terms of the music. But again, going back to, I think I do have to credit Lin-Manuel Miranda for loving the first one's music so much. But that was just me personally. In terms of the story, I felt it was very similar to the same blueprint that the first one was using. Just adding a few more spectacles and characters and here and there. I still think it sent some good messages, as did the first one, but it wasn't anything like groundbreaking or something we hadn't necessarily heard before. I just feel like it was just the base recipe for another Moana movie. And maybe we have to think about that it had been originally planned as a Disney Plus show. So maybe that rewriting, reworking could have affected the state of it in a way that was negative for me personally in terms of my experience watching the movie. I'm not really sure. But I just know that I was not as moved by it as the first film. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it does work still as that kind of, let's go out to the movies, have something nice to watch, something for everybody, the whole family at the movie theater. And it does kind of scratch that itch or check off that box, if that makes sense. It does have its funny moments as well as its beautiful moments. In a weird way, I was thinking about this recently. Maybe I would have enjoyed it more if they just took the music out. Like, in a weird way, like, I'm here for the characters. I do like all of them. I like the new crew. I like the new characters that were introduced. I love the coconut character and the whole gang, really. I would like to see, more of them and see where their stories go. And I think that that's kind of what I was there for. I was there for the story more than I was the music, but I think I went in with like music high expectations because of the first movie, and maybe that's why I had a not as good experience. For Wicked, I felt like it was similar, but I think I ended up liking the Wicked music a lot more. Like honestly, I can genuinely say I like the Wicked soundtrack, whereas I do not like the soundtrack for Moana 2. But I love the soundtrack for Moana 1. Sorry, I'm getting repetitive, but But that's all I really have to say about Moana 2. I try to avoid spoilers, but I think it's still a fun watch. I just don't think outside of like the holiday week that it premiered, I don't think you need to see it in theaters. Like I understand having something like that to go see in the theaters when your family's all here and it's Thanksgiving, it works for that. But I feel like okay, like you can wait till Disney Plus for Moana 2. If you saw it during Thanksgiving week, then good. That would have been the way to have seen it. I feel like, if any way. Otherwise, I don't think it's nearly worth watching compared to like the first one or even Wicked. Not to compare it too much to Wicked, but just in terms of what's out in theaters right now, I would spend my money on Wicked. Moana 2 already beat all the records. It doesn't need more money. But I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on Moana 2. Would you want a Moana 3? I would, depending on who was working on it. Again, like if they got Lin-Manuel Miranda back, then maybe I would pique my interest. In fact, just because of this experience with Moana 2 and seeing that Lin-Manuel Miranda was working on Mufasa, which is the upcoming film that we're going to get in a couple weeks, it actually like made me excited for Mufasa. I was like, that's why he couldn't work on Moana 2, was because he was working on Mufasa, and I saw this little behind the scenes feature it on one song, and sure enough, it was pretty catchy to me, and I was like, damn, I guess I'm gonna have to see this movie for the music now. But like I said, I like these characters enough that I would still be hopeful for some new adventures with these characters in per se like a Moana 3 or something like that. I did see that parody poster, or was it a parody poster, of Stitch holding one of the coconuts in his mouth. That would be a amazing and fun crossover in the Disney universe that I personally would be 100% down to watch. What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to do a cool crossover someday, or do you think that was just a way of the other Disney characters helping to promote the movie that they're screening now? Could be either or. I'm gonna hope that it's a crossover someday. Maybe like I heard somebody say like it could be like a post-credit thing that they'll tease at the end of something. Maybe Lilo and Stitch, the live-action movie. Who knows? Might tie into the live-action Moana movie that they're making as well. Are you guys excited for that film? I'm certainly curious. I would like to see the characters go forward rather than go backwards, but I love the first movie. I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do differently and just to see how they pull it off. I'm very curious. We'll wait to see when a trailer comes out and then go from there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on Moana 2 down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.